One of the biggest grudge matches of the year finally comes to a clash when Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington do battle at UFC 245. My name is Shaquille Madjuri, and I talked to a whole roster of MMA fighters to get their breakdowns on the welterweight title clash. First, we have top-ranked bantamweight contender Aljamain Sterling.
I think Usman's a little too big for Kobe, but I think it will be competitive. Next
up is UFC 245's very own Urijah Faber.
Ooh, that's a hard one to call. Colby does have the presidential backing, which is comical and interesting. But I think they used to train together, right? Man, you know what? That's a hard one for me to call, man. I think Usman will be a little bit more dynamic on the feet. I think I'll give a slight edge to Usman.
Introducing Ragin' Al Iaquinta.
They're like the same guy, so I don't know. They fight like the same, you know. Maybe Usman's bigger. I don't know.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz.
Usman versus Covington. Now, Covington is my boy. We support our president like no other, and I respect how he views the political side of it, and he pushes his brand like no other. But Usman, I mean, that guy is a phenomenal wrestler. His striking is decent, but the cardio king, man, I think he can pull it off. I actually will be at that event. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to be in the house to support a fellow Trump supporter. I would like to see Colby Covington get his hand raised, just as long as he does the right work and trains with the right people. Be willing to get taken down, be willing to get back up to his feet, and try to finish with the striking. Like I say, Colby is the cardio king. You got to keep that cardio up to where it needs to be and just push the pace. And if he's able to push the pace and get into the 4th and 5th round, he can get his hand raised.
Next up is Vicente Luque.
Gotta go with Kamaru, man. He's my training partner, good friend of mine, and at the same time, I think he's just one of the most dominant welterweights at this moment. I don't see it going another way. I think Kamaru is going to go in there, dominate on the striking, dominate on the wrestling as well, and get the win.
Introducing top-ranked Bellator fighter Jon Fitch.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Colby on this. I think they both are similar, but I think Colby has better wrestling, and I think he's gonna be able to enforce his game plan a little bit better. But I'll also say that I think that the welterweight weight class in the UFC is not what it used to be.
It's the bruising featherweight Josh Emmett.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that would be a tough fight, just because I feel like their wrestling's on like the same playing field, you know, and maybe that would be an opponent Covington could not just use his wrestling to constantly keep taking him down, because I feel like Usman has really good wrestling, but so maybe it would like negate the takedown, and these guys would just stand there and trade, and we'd find out who had better striking. But man, I don't even know. I could see it going either way.
Next, we have Felicia Spencer.
I would have to go with Usman on that one. Not that I don't like Colby. I know I've picked against him twice already, but yeah, I think Usman is, just from his last performance, just it wasn't the most exciting, but it was dominant, very impressive, I think. So I think he's going to be hard to beat.
Introducing Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman.
Yeah, I'll go with Kamaru on that. I think he's got the wrestling credentials and the well-rounded game to beat Colby. But that's going to be interesting, man. Those two will have some good hype.
Now we have strawweight fighter Angela Overkill Hill.
Okay. Usman versus Covington. I feel like Usman is basically like a better version of Covington. I think he is better at picking his shots. I think Covington kind of spams his strikes in order to get the takedowns, but he is very good at doing that. He's not trying to hurt so much as frustrate and overwhelm before he goes for the takedown, whereas I feel like Usman is trying to hurt whenever he throws and then he goes for the takedown, sometimes he doesn't even set it up. He just boom goes for it. He's that good. So yeah, I think Usman's just a better version of Covington. I think he could probably beat him at even 70%. But Covington's good at landing those punches, and sometimes the point game will win you the fight. So I feel like if Covington did get the win, that's going to be how.
The always smiling Sam Alvey.
Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. I'm going to take Covington because they both have the same skill set. I just think Covington's better at it. That push him to the cage, grind him. I think Colby's going to be able to do that to Usman a bit. And Colby's a little more fluid on the ground. He might not have the power of Usman, but I think he's got a better stand-up than Usman.
Next repping Bellator is Lorenz Larkin.
That's a toss-up. I don't know. I truthfully don't know. They literally fight the same. It's like they're literally the same. The only Usman throws a little harder, but he doesn't kind of sit on his punches. You know what I mean? They both kind of throw hard, but it's more so and a takedown with it. You know what I mean? And so I don't see Usman knocking him out. I don't know with that fight. That's gonna be a draw. I'm gonna bet on that fight for a draw.
Keeping it short and sweet, it's Leslie Smith.
Gotta go with Kamaru Usman because freaking Colby Covington. Meh.
Next, we have Gilbert Burns.
That's an easy one. There's Kamaru Usman all day, every day. Guys working extremely hard, very focused, very motivated. For sure, Kamaru Usman.
Introducing Khama Worthy.
I hope Kamaru Usman eats his soul with a spoon. Eats his soul with a spoon. Like screaming Wakanda forever as he eats his soul with a spoon.
Now we have Max Payne Griffin.
Dude, unpopular belief, I think Colby Covington is going to win that fight. I think he's in Usman's head. And Colby's good, man. People forget how good he is because all the stuff he says and the character he is. But he's good. He's good. Really, his striking's actually pretty good too. I think he's gonna nullify the wrestling, Usman, and beat him.
Next up is Alex the Great Hernandez.
Give it to Colby, just because Colby's just a fucking Duracell battery, dude. You know, I mean, it's not like Kamaru ever looks tired, but he doesn't hold the pace that Colby holds. They play the same game. I just think Colby comes at it a little bit more aggressively. I think it's going to be a really fun fight. I mean, that's one of the most congruent matchups you can pick because stylistically, you know, they're almost identical in the way they kind of. I mean, Colby's more forward pressing, but they're intense the same. You know, I'm gonna give it to Colby, but honestly, that is a toss-up fight. I mean, Usman's a monster, so I don't know.
Long time no see, Damir Hadzovic.
Oh, Colby, did see somebody say Colby? Has anybody taken him as a winner? Yeah, okay, crazy. But yeah, Kamaru, he's a beast, man. He's going to take it.
And last but not least, Kyle Stewart.
Usman, for sure. I feel like Usman loves that pressure. Usman loves coming forward. Usman loves fighting in that pocket. Covington's a lot more wrestling based, and he's not going to be able to out wrestle Usman. I think Usman just starts to wear on him, makes him melt, and breaks him.